Hi, so I was going to talk about the resellers. Yes. I don't have a script for this. So I have like a little mini story, I guess. So I was very recently in my local thrift store, and somehow it made me realize something super surprising: the resellers that I unknowingly saw there. So this story technically takes place over a few days, like almost a week. So, backtracking, I like to go to the thrift store. There's a local thrift store that I love to go to all the time. It's pretty much like the only thrift store I usually go to that actually has toys for me to look through and pick out. So, I was going there on a regular day, which made this whole experience even crazier because when I first discovered this thrift store, I was going like every day, and I got kind of crazy because I was like obsessed with just like trying to find, something cool every day. So I was going so much. I wouldn't find stuff. It didn't seem like I found as much stuff because I was just there yesterday. So I stopped going as frequently for a while, and we just go by chance, but it's still super fun to find stuff. And I recently sold a lot of dolls that I didn't really need because of going to the thrift store so often. I ended up with so many random dolls that I didn't really want, like random to me, and I just sold them. So, yeah, it kind of made me feel like refreshed that I could kind of like start, going back in there after accumulating so many unused dolls and kind of start all over. So I was going to the thrift store on this normal day to me, and it was funny once again because before I got there I was thinking to myself, I never find BJDs in the thrift store. A BJD is a ball jointed doll. It's like a really fancy doll. Basically, they usually are like hyper mobile. They look pretty realistic. They have all types of stuff going on with them, and it's not really something you can buy in a store unless you're in like Japan or something. And they're pretty much 100% bought online, and they're pretty pricey, depending on which doll you're getting. They can go for hundreds, thousands of dollars sometimes. So, it's not an everyday item that you would ever find in a thrift store. I have found one in a thrift store, but it's still really rare, especially to find like something in a box complete. And I say that because of my story. So I had these thoughts. And of course, I was also thinking of dolls like Dollmore Trinity, Dollmore Illusion, any type of Dollmore doll, like any type of big name BJD doll just lying around in a thrift store for me to find for a good price at that. So now I make it to the thrift store, and literally, I go the same direction in the thrift store every single time. I head straight for the toys. And as I'm walking there, I kind of glance around. I usually look at the front desk as I walk by because that's where they keep things, not out in the open. And they used to keep a lot more, like, I put it in quotes, collector dolls back there. But it seems like they kind of stopped doing that as much. But just put them out in the open. But every now and then, they'll still stick a doll or two back there. So I walk in and I look to my left, as usual, looking at the counter, and I pretty much, with my doll brain, immediately recognize BJD style and shaped boxes. And I could just tell, like, so many, like, check marks click off in my head when I'm doll shopping. I mean, when I'm shopping at all, like, I really only shop for dolls. I'm not even, like, joking. I don't really look for anything else but groceries or dolls. And so I have like major like doll brain. And yeah, I saw those boxes and I was like 99.9% sure it was a ball jointed doll. So of course the excitement like rose in me like boiling water. I was so like damn ecstatic. I immediately decided to stand in line with nothing in my hand but staring at those dolls, not even knowing what else was in the store. So I wait in line. I finally get to the front, and I'm just immediately like, yeah, what is that? Let me see it. OMG. And of course, it was a ball jointed doll as expected. I immediately noticed it, and as usual, no one seemed to know what it was, which makes me feel even cooler. And so I'm looking at it. I'm just like, oh my gosh. I don't remember if I could tell what company it was from at the time, but it was Volks, which is a pretty well-known doll brand. It's like one of the first BJD doll brands, I think. I'm not too sure. I know it's really old, though. Like, I literally think it's about as old as me, if not older. But I was flabbergasted. I had never seen these dolls before. I didn't know not one thing about them, really. I just knew what they were. And that was pretty much it. And I could like tell different things like, oh, they have joints, they have extra eyes, or they're not damaged. They were kind of yellowed, meaning they were likely old and stored. They weren't too sun damaged, so they were likely stored because they were in boxes, and they seemed to have their packaging still in there. They had bags of clothes, doll pamphlets, and it seemed like these dolls were almost never touched. And I think I had picked out a couple to come back and look at. And as I was at the counter, immediately to the right side of my view, there was a guy. He walked up to the counter, and I saw he had various Monster High Generation 1 dolls in the box. And grab bags, so like plastic bags of Monster High Generation 1 dolls in bags. I couldn't stare long enough to see exactly what it was. I think I recognized like one or two of the dolls, but I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it was a reddish box. So it was maybe an operetta or a Ghoulia doll. But something that I still think about now, there was a black and white box. And I want to say it was a black and white, like normal size Monster High box. And the design was not cohesive with the other usual, like, core doll boxes. So the only thing I could immediately think was that it was a new in box black and white Comic-Con Frankie doll. And there are 2 black and white Frankie dolls, technically 3 now with real drama, but like Generation 1, there's Skull Shores black and white Frankie, and there's Comic-Con black and white Frankie. And I'm like 85% sure that the box was a bit wider, indicating it could have been a Comic-Con Frankie doll. I do not know for sure, and I will probably never know. And it kind of eats me up. First of all, because it wasn't me. Second of all, because it wasn't me. And I just felt like you don't even know the feeling unless it's like you're there. Like excited wasn't even a word. I felt like I had just gained 10 lives. And then I was kicking myself for not starting in the toy section because as cool as BJDs are, most people don't know what they are. So they're likely not going to buy them. Whereas a lot of people know Monster High because they want to either resell it or they just remember it from the past. So, yeah. But as soon as I saw that, I almost speed raced, leaving like smoke behind me to the toy section. Of course, it was crowded. And also before I got there, the guy was saying, oh, there was so much back there or whatever he said. And in my head, I was like, oh my fuck. Like, please do not tell me he grabbed everything because what he did have looked decent. Like these dolls did not look beat up. They had all their clothes, shoes, and everything. And I saw he had like a Generation 1 Claude and I don't remember exactly what else, but I just knew they were good dolls. So I ran back there. And lo and behold, of course, oh my gosh, I will never forget it. There was still a handful of Generation 1 dolls back there. And I immediately, like, so quickly grabbed every single thing I saw that I recognized. And there was Ever After High. So I was grabbing Ever After High, Monster High, back to back to back. I didn't even care what was really there. Like, I just saw it. I knew what it was. I said, it's mine. It's mine. This is mine. This is mine. This is mine. And it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. The feeling was like I was over the moon. I wish I got there sooner to see what else they would have had and whatever that man was holding next to me. But it was amazing. And luckily, I was not shopping alone. So my friend bought me a shopping cart because I 100% needed it. 100%. I actually posted a video, and in the thumbnail is a picture of me next to my cart. So yeah, you can see in the picture how much stuff I really had. And yeah, it was literally doll heaven. It was absolutely amazing. I found stuff, and what was even better was I didn't have a single one of those Monster High dolls, because I have like 350 Monster High dolls, and a lot of the times I usually will have the doll if I find anything in person. I didn't have any of them, and like I said, they were mostly complete. They weren't like ratty tatty. You could tell somebody was owning these dolls and taking fair care of them, which was, became a little sad once I realized how much of their stuff was going to end up in the store. So that was just doll heaven. And then they were also ransacked with Rainbow High. But luckily I have a lot of Rainbow High, so I didn't need them as much as Generation 1 dolls. And that was just, oh man, I found Monster High, Rainbow High clothes. I think I posted a video of everything I found at the thrift store. That's the same video that would have the thumbnail picture, but I'm just speaking more about it because of the resellers. So I didn't see them that day, I don't believe, but they're there. So that day, luckily, it was all to me. I found my Generation 1. Then they have another toy section a few aisles over. I went over there, and then I found so many inbox Rainbow High dolls, but mostly that's where I found all the inbox Winx Club dolls. And Winx Club, as many people know, is very expensive to collect. And so I only have like 4 dolls, if even. None of them are complete. They're all old, kind of ratty. I don't even display them because I have so little of them. And I never really had intentions of getting more simply because they're so pricey. And there's a lot of Winx Club dolls, and I actually don't know every single thing about them to go out of my way and try and collect them. So, yeah, every doll I found, Winx Club wise, was new to me. And it was in the box. They were new in the box, and it was new to me. And it was absolutely the best thing ever. I grabbed every single one that wasn't a double. And yeah, so I have a cart full of Monster High dolls, Ever After High dolls, Winx Club inbox dolls, and then maybe some other stuff that I can't think of right now. And after like losing my mind, jumping around, dancing, screaming, I finally was ready to go up front with the cart was literally full. It was literally full of Winx Club and Monster High dolls and everything. And not to forget the BJD dolls that were up there waiting for me. So I get up there and I check out. I couldn't even tell you the price. It was pricey, but still technically a good deal for everything that I got. Pricey for a thrift store because unfortunately they are back there looking up what this stuff is sometimes. So the BJDs were not as cheap as you would think they would be at a thrift store where they likely got them for free. The BJDs were actually a few $100s, unfortunately. When I found a BJD the first time, they had it for only $99, and it was like a 1/3 scale, like male doll. So it was a pretty big doll. And $100 is a great price. I think it is a recast doll, but I have no idea. I just think it is. I never looked into it because either way I would have kept it. I didn't really care. Yeah, so you'd think these dolls would be much cheaper, which they should have been, but I was so excited in the moment, and honestly, I thought they may have got snatched, so I did buy 2 of them to start, and once again, I showed that in the video, the first 2 that I got. And so anyways, that was the first day of shopping, and I was literally excited for like at least 2 days. Like I straight excited. I felt like a new person. I felt like I just gained a new life. I felt like I had just been reincarnated. And this isn't even an exaggeration. Like I was over the moon. I was over the moon. And I'm still excited about it now because I actually, as I'm making this video, I haven't even like taken every single thing out of the bag. So like, yeah. Anyways, I'm like 15 minutes in. I haven't even talked about the resellers. So anyways, naturally, I kept going back as much as I could because clearly you could tell that some collector either, is not with us anymore or they just, gave up their stuff. Either way, all of it was showing up in the thrift store in bulk. So I pretty much I went for like 4 days straight. I didn't go very early, but I would just make sure to show up. And I found stuff every time. The second time I found a whole lot of fun dolls. They were mostly like different, like Barbies and Rainbow High. Then the third time I found, I found Disney dolls too. Like collector Disney dolls. The third time was, I started to find more Winx Club dolls. But it was so annoying because I found Winx Club twice. And each time, half the bags I get have been ripped open as if somebody has yanked at least one or two dolls out of the bag. Which is super annoying because for one, they're just stealing. And two, the store is either doesn't care or they're not looking. So the price of the bag is still the same. Because they're charging like $12.99 for like one bag of maybe 2 or 3 dolls. And now somebody stole one. So you still have to pay like $13 at a thrift store for 2 dolls. Which is a lot. And it adds up when there's multiple bags. So it just gets annoying. Because why? Like, just buy the bag and don't even let me see it because now you just stole something or whatever. And then I wonder what it was. Like, why would you steal it? Like, what was it? Because what I find is good stuff. And I just can't imagine what was stolen. Anyways, the resellers. So one of these days, I was in the store shopping. I didn't find as much stuff that day. However, I was there a little bit earlier. I think it was literally a week ago on a Saturday. And, I see these 2 men. It's like one white guy, one black guy. And, there's the employee like doors that lead to the back room where they keep all their stuff and where they bring out all their things. And I see them standing by the door along with other like random people. I guess it's customary for some people to like come to the thrift store, stand by the door so they can low key get first dibs. But with them, I actually saw these guys before when I was there a different day. They hang around that area every single time. It's like right near an employee door where they bring out stuff. And it's right near one of the toy sections. So they hang out there all the time, it seems. And the first time I saw them, they leave their carts like in the aisles. And I hadn't seen anyone come to the cart for a good couple of minutes. So I started looking in it. And I'm kind of digging around in it because, like, no one's claiming it. Like, why would you leave your stuff? And then on top of that, he had a Hunk Couture Claudine doll in his cart. So, of course, I was planning to swipe it. And I should have swiped it and ran because why would you leave your stuff out? And I didn't feel bad because clearly you're a reseller and, like, whatever. And he didn't know what it really was. Anyways, he eventually popped back up and he's like, oh, that's mine. I'm like, oh. I just gave it back to him. I mean, I already have the doll. But, I mean, take his stuff back. I should have just pretended like I didn't hear him and took it anyways. Because, like, whatever. I never leave my stuff alone. Especially if you're in a thrift store. People can just take it and then so what? Yeah, so he was like, that's mine. I'm like, oh, okay. And then his friend was in the next aisle over. And I saw that he had 2 totally different BGDs that were never there the first time. And these were 2 male ones that looked really neat. And I peeped the price. They were like $200 cheaper than the ones that I bought. So, of course, I was like, dang, I want these. And I'm looking around to being like, is this anybody's cart? And then the guy shows up, like not the first guy, but the other guy he was with. And he's like, yeah, that's my cart. I'm like, oh, okay. So, I'm not going to take their stuff in front of their face. So I let them have their stuff and I just kind of linger to see kind of what they're up to. Because, like, why are they just, like, standing here not really doing much of nothing? And, of course, I see the workers rolling out the carts with the stuff. And when it's a toy cart, they immediately run up to the cart. Like, any toys, dolls, action figures, whatever, stuffed animals will run up to the cart. And I just see them start digging through that thing. They just start looking, grabbing stuff, putting it in their cart. And then the worker pretty much hands them the cart and just walks away. The worker's not like standing there waiting for them to be done or something. They grab the cart from the worker, look in it, take what they want. And then what was even more surprising, I see them start putting the extra stuff away. So of course my first thought is, do they work here? Like, are they workers at the thrift store? But honestly, I don't think they are because I have now seen them on 3 or 4 separate occasions. Only in the morning, because at this thrift store, as far as I know, they only put stuff out from like open to like 3:30 p.m. So it seems like they, for the most part, hang out there all morning, standing by the door, waiting for their toys. That's what I can grab from their actions, because that's the only time I really see them, because I usually go at night, and I've never seen these men up until this big haul of dolls has started to come in from this poor collector. And I don't know if they've been doing this and I've never noticed them, or if they've only started doing this, recently because they heard, from somebody or someone, all the dolls popping up in the store. I have no idea. But what's extra annoying about this whole thing is that they seem to keep doing it. And it just really, really, really makes me wonder what I've lost out on if they have been doing this for a while. Because honestly, I've been shopping at this thrift store for like almost 4 years. And I've found some good stuff, don't get me wrong. But I've always imagined I'd find even better stuff for whatever reason. And I'm just thinking, like, what if it was these men, like taking stuff before it can even hit the shelves? That's what makes me the most upset. Because it's like, if they're standing right by the door and for some reason the workers are just giving them the cart, the stuff doesn't even have the chance to hit the shelves for anybody to grab it. They're just taking it right off the cart. Like, that's so effing annoying. And it's so unnecessary, because I actually don't have the time to sit in a store for 8 or 9 hours, waiting every single day for a couple of toys. Like, Monster High does not pop up every day. So I don't know why they have the time. And it's annoying that the workers seem complacent with them, because backtracking, the first time I saw them and I was looking in their carts, I saw them come up to the behind the counter while I was in line getting ready to check out. Like they were putting their stuff back there to come back to it later or whatever. And an even bigger plot twist, the 2 BJDs that I saw the one guy have in his cart, I saw them again a different day, and it looked like he didn't buy them, and I was curious why not. Maybe he didn't know what they were. Maybe they were too pricey for him, but honestly, they're not that pricey for the doll that it is. But that's a different thing. I'm just exposing what I saw, which was so absurd. Like, why are the workers working with randoms? Why are the randoms have no shame? Like, bro. And it's so like awkward, because at one point I was standing there with my friend thinking, okay, if they can stand here and get first dibs, then so can I. So I was standing there. I actually stood there for about 2 hours hanging out in the same section, trying to see, what they see. Like why is it worth it to sit here forever trying to get something? And I waited and I waited, and of course, barely anything came out. And then by the time a toy cart came out, I just didn't even feel right trying to run over there and shove my hands in there. And it was annoying, because I almost wish I did it anyways, just to kind of prove a point. Like, they aren't the only ones that could do that or whatever. Like, but you can tell they probably wouldn't have given a fuck, because like clearly they've been doing it. Clearly they have their methods worked out. And like, I would overhear them talking, being like, oh, that's a Claudine doll. That wasn't as cool as a Cleo doll I found the other day. Or they'd be like, oh, that's just this action figure. That's just a Ninja Turtle. Like, just random conversation. And I'm just trying to think, like, do y'all actually like collect? Do y'all run a store? Do y'all run an eBay page? Like, what is this? Like, what am I even seeing here? And if they have been doing it for a long time, it makes me grateful that I found good stuff at all. Because, like, yeah, but I've never really found Monster High, and maybe they're the reason why. Maybe they damn near snatched it before I could even get my eyes on it. And I even saw them go inside the employees only section. Like it seemed to mostly be the white guy's idea. Because he was the one that would seem to go for the cart first. And then he would put the stuff away. And then he would go like maybe 7 feet into the employees only room. He seemed to give them back the cart. And then he would take kind of a little once over of the room and see which toys are packing up. And I'm like, they have a whole damn operation going on. And I'm just like, WTF? Like, what the heck is going on here? Like, when did the thrift store become like, like this? Like, come on now. Like, what happened to giving everybody a chance? Like, for real. Because that's just annoying. Like, it's hard out here. The one thing I have is the damn thrift store. And y'all trying to take that over too. And it was just obscure. And I'm sure they ain't dumb. So I'm sure they've likely noticed me just kind of hovering in their space. But I can tell they also don't care at all. And I think they don't care at all because they know that they have like the scoop on what's going to happen. Plus, I feel like they know that they would just grab stuff first anyways. Like people like that, that don't really have not much shame or whatever. They gonna do anything to get what they want. I mean, if they're willing to stand there for like 9 hours to get a couple of toys, maybe, then no reason they wouldn't push a couple of youngins out of the way to get those very toys. So, yeah. And honestly, I was like, maybe it's not even worth it. Just, I don't know. And maybe if I see them again, now that I've like talked about it, maybe I'll just say like, F it and just go for it. Because like, who do they think they even are? Like, who do they think they are for real? Like, they're full on working for free. They're putting away the workers' stuff. Why are the workers even okay with that? Why are they allowing that? Like, what's the benefit to the workers for them to not do their jobs? They're the ones getting paid. Like, why? Like, okay, people wait around the door. But, and it's funny because there's literally an intercom that plays throughout the store that's like, don't disturb our workers while they're putting out stuff. They're refreshing your selections, treasure hunters. And I'm just like, bruh, they ain't refreshing shit. They're giving it right to the damn resellers that just want to buy it up and take it from us girls. And I don't like that. It's not fair. I mean, like, fuck it. It's just not fair. It's super annoying. And I can't even believe I saw it with my own eyes multiple times. And it's extra funny because sometimes when nothing's coming out for a while, you'll just see them like walking around angrily, staring into the employee door. And then the one guy will just walk around almost in circles and just circle the area a million times and pick up random stuff and put it back. I'm like, you're not fooling nobody. Like, bruh, I see you, mister. Like, is this even real? And I'm just like, I hope it's a temporary thing and they just literally go elsewhere because, like, why are they here? Like, what are they doing? Why are they trying to ruin my toy selection? Like, for real. Like, they just really need to hit the road because what are they doing? And who told them? And when did they get the big idea to just start shopping from the dang employee door? And when did the employees get the idea that that was okay? Because, like, yeah, man, it's not even fair. I go out of my way to get to the thrift store just for y'all to give it to the first men sitting out there. Just, it doesn't take long to put stuff away. I don't even know why. And of course, I'm thinking the same thing. I should work there so that I can have a real scoop on what's going on inside. However, I don't have the time to work there. I don't have the time, and I'm not even sure if I have it in me to work there. But honestly, I'm low-key considering it, even if it was part-time, 2 or 3 days a week. Because I need to know what the heck they got going on in there. And it's just not fair. Because if there is, amazing G1 dolls, Rainbow High dolls, Barbie dolls that have been waiting for me and I've missed out on them, that just makes me salty. Makes me salty for real. Yeah, that's mostly my story. Oh, but before I run out of time, I guess, what makes this story extra bizarre is that I actually discovered on TikTok a local collector that they were likely the person that was in the store before me. Not only them, but the resellers. And so this local collector found even better G1 Monster High dolls, which drives me feral because they actually found a lot of collector dolls and other collector dolls like Pennywise, Valentine, the the twins. They even found a limited edition 17-inch Disney doll. Like, that's truly epic. What I found is really cool, but what they found is truly, truly epic. And honestly, I'm just glad there was some left for me, because I'm glad I got to get that high. And I'm even more glad I got to get it before knowing that there's people that already got it before me, because this poor seller seemed to give a lot of stuff to the store. There was, once again, a whole bunch of G1 Must Die, a bunch of Ever After High, a lot of custom dolls. There was a lot of custom Rainbow High, Shadow High dolls, the Winx Club dolls, inbox Rainbow High. You know, all the Winx Club was inbox. I found Winx Club out of box. I found various Barbie dolls that were very cleaned up, Disney dolls that were very cleaned up. And there was an American Girl collector doll in there at one point, but that sold pretty quick. And then the BJD dolls, I'm 95% sure they are all coming from the same person, which is bittersweet, because what happened to this person? From what I can tell, they were likely old. Only because those Volks dolls are pretty old. And they literally came out in like Y2K, and they're yellowed, and they were likely in storage, meaning this person probably had them for years. So it probably wasn't the youngest person ever. And these dolls, there was clearly a lot of doubles in this collection. And likely an older person will have more finances to buy doubles. So that was my analysis, that this person was just, you know, an older person that had the money to buy all these things. And the dolls were in very well cared for condition. They all had stands, and they were all recent. Like, a lot of the dolls were, like, they recently came out. Like, there was, like, the Sporty Bratz line, the Barbie Besties line, of course, newer Rainbow High dolls. Like, they were all in there. And I'm like, didn't these just come out like maybe a month or two ago? So yeah, I have no idea what happened to this person. I wish I could know to just know even more of the full story, but that's just from what I can gather being in the store and seeing what I saw. I think it's an older person. I don't think they're around, because I feel like they would have sold their collection if they could have. Either that, or they had to like run away from home, and maybe they just gave all their stuff to a thrift store hoping collectors would find it. And I like to believe that mostly collectors did find their stuff, so that's nice. I'm about to run out of time though, but I think I pretty much said most of the stuff I wanted to say. And I wasn't even looking at this video. I thought I'd run out of time, and I was going to make little comments on what I was doing in this video, but as you can see, I'm just opening the Love Besties doll, and I'm opening their fashion packs, and I'm putting them in their clothes. And then my cat joins the video towards the end, and I'm watching a show called the Broke Girls show. I got into it recently, and I just keep watching it when I have the time, and it's a lot more funny than my face makes it look. My face looks kind of serious, but I'm actually like laughing a whole lot on the inside. And I think I do laugh once in the beginning. So the show's actually super hilarious. I'm just kind of focused on it because I was watching like a season finale, and there's a lot of stuff going on. And yeah, that's just why I look so focused. And then the dolls, trying to get them dressed, really intricate. They're tiny, and they have all these tiny accessories, and I never undressed them. And I just opened 4 dolls and 4 fashion packs. That's a lot of stuff. Now I'm really running out of time. I don't know what else to say. Subscribe, like, comment, literally anything. I love answering questions. I know I talk a lot. I pretty much talk the entire time. My mouth is so dry. But just say anything, you know. Ask me anything. I have a lot more videos coming up. And I'll see y'all next time.